Let me start off this video just saying that the events of this video took place last April, and that as of right now, Benny is perfectly fine. Benny is alive and healthy. But since we are coming back to YouTube, I thought I would tell the story of what happened and how we almost lost Benny back in April. I will be showing a clip of Benny. It's only a few seconds long. It's how he looked when I found him. It is sad to watch and a little distressing, so I'm sorry about that, but it's only a few seconds long. I just want to spread awareness of what happened. Anyone else's Berner sniff their mouth? Or is it just ours? Stop. So I didn't know how to make this video. I was just gonna put like texts over all the videos that I have from what happened, but I figured this is just easier just to explain it in a video. Obviously you can see he's alive and well. This happened back in April. My mom, my dad, and our son Milo, we went to an event and we were just gone for maybe a few hours, and we left Benny at home like we normally do. And when I got home, normally when we come home, Benny like runs to the door to like greet us. I walk in and he didn't come to greet us, and I was like, oh, that's weird. So I'm like, okay, maybe he's sleeping. So I'm like, couldn't find him. And so finally I went into our room and I find him in our bathroom. He's laying on my lap and not doing well at all. Like making weird noises and like panting and shaking and couldn't stand up. There was like, I'm pretty sure pee all around him. I think he lost like bladder control. I do have a clip of that. I will put it in here. It's only a few seconds long. It is sad to see, at least for me. But I figured it's a good way to kind of bring awareness to this. So I had come home with just Milo. So it was just me and Milo, and I like was panicking on what to do. I called my mom right away. I called Christian right away. Christian ran home from work. Then I saw in the living room that he had thrown up a ton and there was a bunch of white stuff in it. And then I realized next to it, like near it, there was a pack of gum about this big, of like little gums about this big. He had eaten the whole thing. And I looked up, and gum is extremely toxic to dogs. And so I called an emergency vet, and they told us to try to get him to throw up and bring him in. So he wasn't walking, so we had to put like a blanket underneath him and like pretty much carry him into the car and stick him in the back part of the car. And my parents stayed home with Milo, and me and Christian booked it to the emergency vet, which was actually like almost 30 minutes away. So it was a long drive. Luckily, Benny did throw up pretty much all the gum right away. So I think that is what pretty much saved him. And he kind of stopped shaking so much as we were getting closer to the vet. He still he started sitting up and standing up, but he wouldn't use like his back legs to stand up fully. So we had to get like a big old rolling table to stick him on, and when we got there, and then they rolled him in and took him in. So he had a high amount of the Xylitol, I think that's how you pronounce it. His liver wasn't doing so well. So they were doing all they could do, and they pretty much said worst case scenario, if none of the stuff that they were doing didn't work, he would need plasma transfusion, which is very expensive. He ended up staying at the emergency vet throughout the weekend. I think he spent 2 nights there because they needed to monitor him and make sure that those levels were coming down. I'm petting him. Benjamin, your baby. Look at this guy. So we left them there for the night. It was so sad. And then the next day we went to go visit him right away, and we brought Milo to go visit him. You give him a kiss? Say hi, Benny. And see how he was doing. He was up and walking and doing so much better, but the levels were still not where they wanted them to be. So they wanted him to stay one more night. They did, and then they called me, I think that night or early morning, that his levels finally came down and that I could come and get him. He could continue his medication at home. So that's what we did. He brought him home, continued his medication. He had little bandages on his arms because of the They had to shave it and put like IVs and stuff in him to get like liquids and clean him out. So he was on medication for but he's doing so much better. He's still a naughty boy and tries to get into stuff. The gum that he got into was on the counter, like pushed far back. I honestly didn't even think anything of it. He is a naughty boy and will eat food off the counter and is a counter surfer and like will get any garbage that he can find. I just did not think he would end up like grabbing a bag of gum and eating it. The whole situation was so scary, and the thought of losing him was so scary and sad. So I told him from now on, I will never kick him off our bed. He can stay there as long as he wants. He's allowed on our bed, but sometimes he's just too big and too much and in the way. But now I never kick him off because he made it through this scary, difficult time. So it's almost a year now that happened, almost a year ago, and he's doing good. So yes, please be very careful about gum around your dogs. The ingredient in gum that's toxic to them is in a lot of other things. I can put a list here and I'll put the name of the ingredient, the xylitol. I might be pronouncing it wrong, but I'll put it there so you guys can see it. And then just, yeah, be aware. Keep an eye on your dogs, because if you have a naughty dog like Benny that gets into everything, keep the gum away.